Hello and welcome to MojoPlays. This is our show Deconstructed, where we take an old top 10 list from WatchMojo, break it down, and try to figure out why things placed where they did. I'm sure you've noticed I'm not Dan. He's at a conclave of the lizard people, so he's not in this week, but don't worry, he'll be back next week. The list we're looking at today is top 10 canceled video games. It's a really old one. Let's take a look. All right, so like I said, it's a pretty old list, but I've got a couple of good gentlemen in here to help me figure it out. We've got Ricky.
Hey, guys.
And Dave, who's the
Hi
only
there.
one here when this list was ranked, so he's got some pretty good insight as to why this exists.
I'll hold you to that.
All right, starting with number 10. Let's go. All right, so number 10, BC. Now, this one looks... Okay, I don't know. What do you guys think? Dave, you rank this. What do you think?
I honestly can't remember why we put this on the list because it was so long ago.
Great, good insight. Ricky.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to hold it to me, huh?
I think people were disappointed with this because of the promise that it kind of put out there, which was an open world survival game that was based in kind of prehistoric battles. You'd be alongside dinosaurs, which is completely false. That did not happen in real life. Cavemen did not live with dinosaurs. But in this game, they did. And so it was like a survival sim with an open world.
Yeah, it's like a survival game way before survival games were fashionable. And that, to me, is really exciting. Like, I took a look at this, and I thought this looked really cool. I would have put this a lot higher than 10.
Yeah, I think it was much more ambitious than the one that's coming up. But I think today, if you look at the trend of survival games and open world games, if your game is not open world, like nobody wants to play it anymore. And so at a time where that wasn't happening, this could have been an exciting development.
But it was also a very ambitious project.
Too
as
ambitious,
well.
yeah, definitely too ambitious for the
Realistically, it probably wouldn't have been very good.
It was something that was way well before its time as well.
And we know how much that can hurt games, but I don't know. I think it looked pretty good. I would have put it higher on the list, assuming it had been able to deliver.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay, number 9, Thrill Kill. If you're familiar with any WatchMojo top 10 video game top 10s at all, you'll definitely have seen this come up because we talk about it a lot. I guess that means we're upset it got canceled?
Yeah, well, it's a big one because it was finished and then it got cancelled. So, but there's also a prototype available of it online. You
can actually play it.
Yeah, but I don't know why you'd want to. This is one of the only things that I think EA did right, which was they bought this company that was developing it, and they just butchered this game because...
Well, no, because it ended up with a mature-only rating, and EA didn't want to release an AO. Man, it would not be an adults-only rating today.
Not after the games that we have today.
No, if this game came out today, it would be like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it tame, but it definitely would not be an adults-only rating game.
The graphics were crap.
Yeah.
I mean...
it's a PS1 game.
Yeah, so there you go. But like, just the premise of like this like BDSM, gothic horror fighting game with like
I have a confession to make though.
Yeah.
I was such a huge fan of Mortal Kombat back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And I never really, but I've never really gotten over that sensation with extreme sort of, not cartoon violence, but you know, like Tarantino movies and stuff. You know, like I really like that stylized, I really like that kind of stylized violence, and I don't think it would have been a very fun game, but I think I could maybe get on board with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it did come out, I don't think it would have done well. I think it would have critically bombed.
For sure.
Yeah, still, I don't know. It's kind of, who knows, right? Well, actually, yes, you do, because you can go download it and play it. All right, moving on. Number 8. Okay, number 8, Gotham by Gaslight. Now, I'm surprised that this one is only at number 8, and I've got a comment here. CPR asks, says Gotham by Gaslight could have been an interesting take, and I think a lot of people agree with him.
Like, it's one of those things where it could have been interesting, but it didn't really get past like the early prototype stages. The main reason why it never went ahead is because the developer couldn't get the rights to it.
No, because they made it to show to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no, we don't want to do this. Actually, the movie just came out. The animated movie came out in January. Gotham by Gaslight. So who knows? Maybe it's in the cards that they'll
bring the game back. I don't know.
I mean, maybe not after Arkham.
From what I understand, that was why Warner Brothers didn't want this game, because they were already secretly working on the Arkham games. And if this game existed, I mean, it's super interesting and it looked really cool. I remember the cape physics were like a big thing that they were really proud of in their tech demo. but would this have been as good a game as Arkham?
I doubt
I
it.
don't
I
see
don't know.
it.
I doubt it
man.
very
I don't
much.
think it would have.
And for that reason, I think number 8 is a pretty good spot because yes, we're all disappointed that we didn't get this cool steampunk Batman game, but we got Arkham instead, and Arkham is the Arkham franchise. You know, have a couple ups and downs, but they're pretty friggin'
solid,
good.
That's
yeah.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a shame, but we'll see. Maybe in the future, maybe it'll be some kind of reboot or something. All right, moving on. All right, number 7, Prey 2. Now we've got another comment here to lead us off. Dialing Dust says Prey 2 is unfortunate because it did look fun. Now, all we ever saw from this version of Prey 2 was cinematics.
Yeah.
So how did it look fun?
It kind of looks like one of those like Wild West, futuristic, outer space style Western games that looks like you're like a sheriff or something in a futuristic.
Sounds like sounds like a giant mess of a game.
But there's actually an interesting development story with this. Like the team who was working on this, the first Prey, that was also in development hell. It was like 10 years in development before it came out as Prey, and then Prey 2 also had development hell, but instead of that one coming out, that one just got flat out cancelled anyway. But
Yeah.
Prey wasn't dead anyway. We got another Prey game.
Yeah, eventually, many years later, but which
Yeah.
wasn't like, I mean, this
not-
doesn't count. Like, the new Prey isn't this
nothing,
game
no,
at all.
It's not like
no,
this,
it's not like this game at all. No.
No.
But yeah, it was a case where like we heard from Bethesda, who was the publisher at the time. They said that the quality just wasn't living up to
6
their standard.
years, 6 years, and then you're like, yeah, it's not good enough. after
It's
6
not very,
years.
but so we never saw any gameplay. So are we taking their word for it when they say like, oh, the game didn't look very good? Like,
Well-
it looked cool in the cinematic
Well,
trailer.
would they have shown gameplay if the gameplay looked crap?
No, exactly, and that's why
Exactly, yeah.
like, I don't know. I mean, we ended up getting a Prey anyway, so you know, again, like all the other things on this list.
It's not that big of a deal, honestly. I think people got their Prey, and they're like, was it even good? I didn't play. I didn't
Dan
play.
played.
Oh, the new Prey was very good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So
Dan
there you go.
talked to
Everybody-
Dan really
everybody's
liked
happy.
it, and I
Yeah.
like immersive sims.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, cool. Moving on. All right, number 6, Shenmue 3.
Shenmue.
Shenmue. Thank you,
Shenmue.
Dave.
Close enough.
I don't know. I was never a big fan. I didn't have a Dreamcast. I was never a big fan. I never played the original Shenmues, so I didn't really get why they were such a big deal. What do you guys think?
Well, it was a huge following at the time. It was also a huge critical bomb with the first 2 games because the Dreamcast didn't sell very well.
Critical bomb? You mean commercial bomb?
Commercial bomb.
I remember everyone saying about
critics
how, I
loved
remember
it.
everyone talking about how good the game was,
Yeah.
but I was
Yeah,
like, I
commercial-
don't have a Dreamcast.
Yeah,
so-
commercial bomb because no one had a Dreamcast. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, and because the production for the first 2 Shenmue games were extremely high, when those 2 games bombed, there's like, nope, we're not doing that. But now it's been uncancelled.
It's been uncancelled,
Yeah.
but again, like it's still gonna. The new one's gonna be called Shenmue 3, but it's not like they're just picking up where the development of this game left off.
No, definitely not.
definitely not.
But it's also going to be interesting because, as I said, the first 2 Shenmue games had ridiculously high budgets. The third one, which is the new one they're doing now, it was funded through Kickstarter.
It's like
It is-
6.6 million, I think.
No, but Sony's
but
also
it's-
publishing it, aren't
but
they?
even then, it's a fraction of what their development cost was in the first 2
It's
games.
like 47 million, I think.
No, but that's why I think
Some shit like that.
I don't want to say for sure, but I think Sony is publishing this one.
Well, they promoted it at their E3.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously, why isn't it higher on the list? I'm surprised it's only number 6
Well,
if
it was a
Shenmue
huge-
is such a big deal.
Well, back then, like it was a huge cancellation because we didn't know it was uncancelled when it.
Yeah, but shouldn't it be higher on the list? Is what I'm saying. Isn't Shenmue 3 being cancelled? Like, shouldn't they put it like 2, 3?
Well, that's the thing, though.
Dave?
Well, the reason why it wasn't higher is what was higher than that.
I don't. Oh, I do, but I don't have the list is over
Well,
there.
you
You
know
guys
what's
can
coming,
see.
yeah.
You guys can see what's higher. So let's find out what's higher. I think this itself should have been higher, but we'll get to it.
You
soon.
said that about the last 3 entries as well.
All right, moving on. All right, number 5, Sadness. Now, Dave was just saying, oh, Andrew, what else would have been... Oh, yeah, okay, so why is this higher on the list and shit? Like, how is this more disappointingly canceled than Shenmue 3?
It looked like
Dave?
something.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Is this how it's gonna go, huh? We're
Yeah.
gonna have a back and
Come
forth
on,
about this.
come
All
on.
right, let's do this.
Why is this such a big deal that it got canceled?
Well, it was so completely different at the time from anything else we'd seen. Like you had this this weird Victorian era style game. It was also on the Wii as well. So it was like, at the time, it seemed like it looked like something that you'd never seen. You could slit people's throat with the nunchuck, which was like one of the most absurd.
So
things.
not kid friendly.
Yeah, so not kid friendly, and it was just like the whole concept behind the. I think it was like the whole thing with the.
Well, it had a like a psyche system, kind of like Eternal Darkness, where you would like sort of maybe go crazy and see things a little bit differently.
Yeah,
and the whole game was black and white.
Yeah, and like the whole psyche thing, like we've seen with like the likes of say Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice just last year, and it shows how well it could have done. So, and this was again, it was a concept that was well ahead of its time, but it never went anywhere.
There was no playable like demo. There was nothing. We just
There was
saw
some
pictures.
I think we did see some.
It was like a concept trailer. We don't know if it was live action or if
We don't know anything.
Yeah,
This
so
game
like it's a neat idea for a game, and again, it's like a game that maybe could have been really good, but with the exception of like Eternal Darkness and Senua's Sacrifice, which isn't really a horror game, it's more of an adventure game. How often do gimmicky horror games work out? They really don't work out very well. And while I'm not saying that this shouldn't be on the list of like games that were upset that they got canceled, I definitely would not have put this above Shenmue III.
That's true. Yeah.
Come on.
I'd have to agree with that. I'd have to agree. Just because of the production value of the first two games and the kind of ground that they held with their audience.
Well, I say it was on there just because of how different and unique it was.
Well, we see how lists change and evolve and opinions change and evolve. So here we are, 2018.
And then that is a good point, Dave. I will give you that one. It did look really interesting, and I can understand why you were excited for it. However, whatever. Moving on. All right, Star Fox 2. This one is going to be really fun to talk about because this game got uncanceled, but unlike the other games that got uncanceled, this version of the game actually came out, and I know, Dave, you picked up an SNES Classic. What did you think about it?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's that good. And I say,
shocking.
Yes, and look at this. I'm wearing a Star Fox shirt. But here's the thing. Like, I saw people, when like the review stud came out, people saying, oh, you can't review it. You need to review it from the view of someone in the 90s. This game would have come out in 1996. In 1996, this would have been crap. Because we had games like Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario 64, Daytona USA, and you had Tomb Raider as well. They ran so much better on their systems than the SNES did. Do you know what this was? This felt like a tech demo. But the biggest issue was it felt like a tech demo on a dying system because the SNES was on the way out the door, the N64 was coming in. You don't release on a tech
demo.
You don't release a tech demo on a system that's about to be sent out the door.
When they canceled it, though, that was the whole point. It's because the 64 was coming up, and they're like, this is crap. We're not going to put this out. This looks bad on us.
But then they eventually did release it, and I think having it released sort of makes it like, it's sort of like a fun little close to the story, having it finally came out, but so ultimately...
Well, I am kind of glad that we did finally see it released, and like we did get this moment in history. Like if I actually paid full price for the game, I probably would be disappointed, so I'm glad I got that in a little compilation thing. But it's not a good game.
I believe that's a hot take.
Yes.
And yes, I'm saying that as a Star Fox fan. It's not a good game. Yes. And I defended Star Fox Zero.
Well, send your hate to WatchMojo.com. Moving on. All right, next one is going to be a lot of fun for me to talk about, Starcraft Ghosts. I am a huge Blizzard... I hate you. I am a huge Blizzard fan. And at the time, I was really disappointed that this game got canceled because I really wanted to explore the world of StarCraft from a third person or from like the nitty gritty. And I remember there was a game mode that was going to be, instead of Capture the Flag, it was going to be called Capture the Command Center, where you'd actually have to lift off your enemy's command center and fly. And just all that. Now, in hindsight, I have kind of changed my opinion about this, but what do you guys think?
Well, I have to ask you this. Do you think it should have been here instead of Shenmue 3?
I mean, honestly, this game was, I saw like the gameplay of it, or what was supposed to be the gameplay of it, and it was like if Samus Aran got thrown into like the StarCraft universe. It was really cool. I think it would have worked very well outside of the RTS genre.
Yeah, like StarCraft is definitely a series that definitely would blend itself well with an action, like first person or third person.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it had and they were bringing everything like Zerg, like the Zerg and Protoss. I remember like some of the videos had like Protoss. She'd be infiltrating Protoss Temple, and because you're playing a Ghost, they don't need to bring in the whole big battle scale, but you can still have things like there was a siege tank boss or a Goliath boss.
Like it's the thing. Like it sounds like something like they wanted to make StarCraft like Halo, which. ironically, Halo originally started as a real-time strategy, then became a first-person shooter. So it's kind of the same format
Same
here,
thing
but
going
they
backwards.
just never followed through with it.
But Blizzard has a reputation of canceling games because they did it with Lord of the Clans too, which was, for those of you who don't know, was a Warcraft adventure game that,
Yeah.
as a kid, I was like, this looks really dumb. And then when it got canceled, I was like, good, it looked dumb. And Blizzard canceled it because they were like, you know what, this game's not very good. And I can't help but think because of the rocky development cycle, like this game changed developers
A lot, yeah,
at
it
least
changed a lot of
once.
hands, and that gets messy.
And Blizzard just ultimately was like, you know what, it doesn't meet our standards, and I am definitely willing to take their word for it.
Yeah, because Blizzard has really high standards as well.
Super high.
They do because they're awesome. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like now, in hindsight, maybe it's better that it got canceled. I mean, I think there's potential for a really good StarCraft third-person game, maybe even like a Splinter Cell Ghost style game.
They also just released Overwatch as well, and they shows that they can do first-person shooters.
Well, like, yeah,
with
but like
different
15
abilities.
years later.
Yeah, but you mentioned like a first-person shooter in the Starcraft universe made by Blizzard.
Well, I mean, you can play. There's a skin of Nova in as Widowmaker in Overwatch,
Yes, I've
and it
seen
looks
that, yeah.
exactly like Nova. It's
That's pretty
great. I
awesome.
love it. So if you want to play Ghost, I guess just play Overwatch and get that skin.
Still need an adventure mode in Overwatch.
Okay, moving on. All right, number 2, and this is definitely one that could have been a number 1 entry. Star Wars 1313. People are still super butthurt about this.
Rightfully so.
Go,
Rightfully
Ricky.
so. Disney, when they bought LucasArts, they're just like, screw this game. This isn't fun. This isn't the gritty thing that we want to
We can't put
out.
loot boxes
Yeah.
in this. We can't
Yeah.
put It's going to be harder to put microtransactions in this.
And it is so frustrating because this game looked awesome. I think you play as a young Boba Fett in kind of this like.
Well, the young Boba Fett type character.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
bounty
you weren't
hunter
actually playing
character.
Boba Fett.
But bounty hunters basically.
Yeah.
You're not using lightsabers. And you're in this like District 1313, or there's another name for it. I really don't remember. But it's like this like underbelly of everything, and it was super gritty, third-person, action-based. It looked awesome and far removed from anything we'd seen in.
Well, and you're a big fan of like Uncharted and Last of Us, and
Yeah.
this looked like just
Yeah,
Uncharted in
definitely.
space.
It was cool. It was super cool, and there was a high demand for it. So it was.
Yeah, I'm
really
super
weird.
surprised that
And
they
it-
canceled this.
And it's funny thing that you mentioned it was pretty much Uncharted with Star Wars, because there was another Uncharted with Star Wars games that was in development that only just recently happened and also got cancelled.
Oh, I didn't know about that. What was
Yeah,
that?
that's there was the one that Visceral Games was working on.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that one.
Yeah, that.
But this one, like, it
Yeah.
looked not finished, but they,
looked
what
polished.
they
It looked
showcased
polished.
looked pretty. There was like, it should have been a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a lot of cancelled Star Wars games. Another one, we actually cross-referenced Star Wars Battlefront 3 with this one, which is
Yes, the original Star Wars Battlefront 3, which got canceled, which people are also still really upset about.
especially considering the actual Battlefront we got afterwards.
Yep.
yeah,
I don't know.
so many
For me,
cancelled-
this is number 1. And for me, even if we redo this list now, like this list could now, doing it now, it could have Scalebound, and
have
it could
Scalebound,
have Silent Hill would be on the list. Silent Hills would be on the list for sure. But even with all the modern other canceled games and other canceled Star Wars games that we
Yeah.
know about now, I would still put this at number 1.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games that it's like, why would you take this opportunity away to make something so cool and so in the universe, but removed from what we know, the lightsabers and kind of like the Jedi stuff, you know? So yeah, playing a bounty hunter would be awesome. And you know what? Maybe down the line, somebody will be like, people want this. Why don't we just make it and make it amazing? So.
They're going to make like a PS4 Classic Edition in 20 years, and it's going to have Star Wars.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have been really cool to see, like you said, the Star Wars universe from we've seen it before with like I'm a big fan of the Dark Forces game,
Right.
And we see the Dark Forces games, and we see that in the Dark Forces games. But this would have been like a modern take on it with like
Right.
modern physics and modern graphics and modern storytelling. Like, it's a shame.
well,
Yeah.
let's move on then.
All right, so let's go to number 1. All right, big old numero uno. I am so sorry. The Mega Man games. I like the Mega Man games, but I kind of don't really give a shit about them anymore. So, Dave, go.
Here's the reason why this made number 1. It wasn't just one game; it was 4 games, and it also felt like Capcom didn't care about Mega Man anymore, which was their premier series, the series that put them on the map. Yes, it was before Street Fighter. But here's the thing, it was 4 games. It was Maverick Hunter, which you can see here.
So cool.
It was Mega Man Universe, which was pretty much Mega Man Maker before Super Mario Maker even came out. Then there was Mega Man Legends 3, which had a whole lot of fan backing behind it and got cancelled because Capcom said it wasn't enough fan backing. Bull crap. And then there,
You tell them.
and then last but not least, there was Mega Man Online, which was an online version of Mega Man.
But
And
that was kind of like Mario Maker, wasn't it? Like, weren't you going to be able
no,
to
that was
make-
Mega Man Universe.
That was
the one I
Universe,
just
sorry,
mentioned.
yeah.
Mega Man Online was like kind of like a side-scrolling MMO in the Mega Man universe.
Yeah, that would have worked out real. That would have been great. That
Yeah,
would have
but-
been
yeah,
awesome.
but that's
That
the
would have
thing.
killed World of Warcraft.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. It didn't go anywhere, so they kind of canceled. They canceled everything, and then shortly after they canceled all this, that's also when Kenji Inafune left, and also started up the Mighty
Number
9.
crap.
And that worked out
Yeah.
so well for all of them. I got some comments here. Ozlith says that Mega Man FPS looked dope.
Yep.
We got a lot of comments on this. Vlad, this is his real name, so I apologize for pronouncing it terribly. Vlad Vlad says Capcom, the greatest. He says Capcom, the greatest Mega Man villain.
True.
Yep, that's very, very true. Funny thing is that when this video went up, a couple months later, a close friend of mine actually sent me a post to someone who sent me who had looked at the cancelled video games list and posted on their Facebook. He said, "When I saw WatchMojo's video about the cancelled Mega Man games list, it made me hate Capcom so many times over. I wish they would bring back Mega Man."
I'm glad we have a fan who agrees with us. They're a friend of
here's the
days,
thing.
but still.
Here's the thing, though. Mega Man is finally now coming back because they finally started listening
Figured
to
it
Man
out.
us.
11.
Okay, what about before we go, Ricky? Do you have any closing comments?
Yeah, Mega Man Universe, they definitely, even if they make it for like mobile platform, I think that having like a Mega Man creator is awesome. I don't know why you would cancel that. If you see the popularity of the Mario Maker, everybody loves it. There's ridiculous levels. It's fun to watch. It's fun to play. So I think they definitely have to bring back Mega Man Universe in some capacity. And also Maverick Hunter, which is so different from any Mega Man game you'll ever hear about or see. It was like a dark, gritty take on the Mega Man Universe, which is actually, it's not super kiddish. Like, it's pretty, it's a dystopian, like, robotic world.
I would love to play Mega Man Universe if they released it on a
wouldn't
console
wanna
that I
play
own.
Maverick Hunter?
Because I really, really liked Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I do not want to play a dark, gritty Mega Man.
I'm so
Come
down.
on.
Yeah, I
That's
disagree with that.
stupid.
I'm down for
It's
that.
like Metroid Prime, but
Right. Yes. Thank you. Give us that money.
Okay, well, I guess you guys have ganged up on me on this. Thank you very much for watching Deconstructed,
Where's Dan?
guys. Good. Dan will be back next week. Thanks a lot, guys,
Andrew,
for
you're
tuning into
fired.
Deconstructed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Mojo Plays. Be sure to subscribe and click on the link in the description below to check out our suggestion page and vote on what content you'd like to see us cover